My name is Rosemary Noon and I own and run Claremorris Gallery. I opened the gallery in 2007. Over the past 17 years I've shown the very best contemporary Irish artists at different stages of their careers. This is a joint exhibition featuring work by Tyrrell and Helen O'Leary. I've worked with Charlie a number of times over the years, and this is Helen's first time to show in the gallery. And it's also a first time collaboration for the two artists.
We were going back and forth with what a good title would be. Charlie came across Duet and he goes, "Sure, we're singing together," and it made so much sense. We work with line in such a familiar and different way. We work with colours. We have a similarity but great difference at the same time.
Helen is a simple thing that she's a painter and always calls herself a painter, even though a lot of people would regard her as a sculptor. This is an exhibition of two painters, and that's exciting. We both have some relationship with three dimensions here as well. These paintings of mine, we do end up at a three-dimensional illusion, but it's wonderful then to see it in here in relation to Helen's.
We have the same tune, but we're singing it differently.
I put them together because I think there's a really obvious visual through line in their work, and I'm kind of surprised that they don't show together more often. I think they're a really obvious pairing, and I just think the whole show sings. I mean, look at it, you know.
My name is Helen O'Leary. I'm a painter based in Jersey City and Drumshanbo. I grew up farming, and that kind of do-it-yourself has really kind of framed me as a painter. I saw painting as a kind of a patriarchal megalith, and I wanted to take it apart. Some of the work here has been made like 10 years ago. I consider it all just like a diary. I keep reusing it, keep breaking it up. I splinter the language of painting. I see everything through the frame of painting, but I wanted paintings that would be more self-reliant. So they're just paintings that stand up with their frame. Sometimes I make crates for them as well, which have a nod to minimalism. The idea of economy, a real economy is part of the work. Like some of the areas that are white, that's crushed eggshell. The pigments are leached from the ground. I make the frames, I make the everything through waste and through scrounged and reclaimed pigment. I just want them to be in relationship to each other and to be somewhat figurative. You know, I use 3 scales based on myself, my head, my chest, my height. And the other thing, they have to come apart to fit in a suitcase. They have to be mobile. These 2 pieces here, they have a real precarity to them and a ballast to it and a weight, and they both talk of framing, but they also talk of armature and kind of interiority. This one took several years in the making. It's been many different pieces. I was working with pigments from various areas in places I call home that are somewhat hurting, sore spots. This was Carbon County, Pennsylvania. It's an industrial spot. It's kind of very Trump spot. So this kind of environmental, emotional ruin is something I like to pull from. I use a lot of earth pigments, a lot of dyes that I get from plants in the area that I then match the colour to. It's made of egg tempera, there's some oil paint because some of it's really old. There's parts of trees, things that grow in that space. They're like geographic markers. This is from the Iron Mountain, which is in Drumshanbo. Again, there's industrial runoff from the iron from the mountain. There's different soils. It's got egg tempera, it's got casein, it's got ground eggshells, it's got pigments, it's got linen. It's just got a nice hand-built frame to it, and its efficiency and its simplicity was something I was going for. And I like it as a framing device for the rest.
My name is Tyrrell and I'm a painter, and I am based at the very end of the Beara Peninsula, a small little village called Allies, and I've been working there for the last 40 years. My work is entirely abstract, and I've been working that way always. From the very beginnings, I sort of strongly believed in the whole world of non-figurative, non-referential painting, sort of paintings that are in and of themselves. Grids have always played a big part in my work, usually as maybe as underpinning and at the foundation stage of painting. With these, I'm allowing the grid be subject, and I am working with it as subject. Now, having said that, I have a few other things going and a few other interests. I do a lot of drawing, and there's a number of drawings in this show which kind of do march to a different beat. They're connected in certain structural sort of ways, but they do something else. What inspires me to paint is the fact that I am a painter. I believe strongly in the importance of art, the power of art, the place of art, and find it, stimulating and demanding and rewarding. This is one of a number of my grid paintings that I'm showing here in this exhibition. How they come about is the random placing of individual squares without any consideration and any strategic forethought towards a final image. Then I start connecting the individuals into a whole. It has its own autonomy at a very early stage. I work with oil on canvas, so there's a constant interplay of geometric, strict forms and a more fluid form of paint. There's a lot of thinking in terms of borders and boundaries, the absoluteness of some of these lines and the breaking down of them, and I like all those nuanced rhythms that might happen as well. If I use colour, I have to have experienced it. It's something that I have to have lived. And this does reflect an awful lot of what I live with. Irish weather, I live on the side of a mountain on the Beara Peninsula, a lot of greys. That's very much a licheny green. That's a very, very lived colour, and just a colour that I hugely admire in the landscape. There's a strong yellow one out there. My partner said to me, "Oh, perfect, gorse." So I was really happy to say, oh yes, now I know why I can celebrate full-blown yellow.